keeps him straight. My father passed away in a car accident, so I had to give up my job to look after his business, where I don't have any experience, and the business has been doing very badly. I don't know whether to give up my job or to continue his business was the right choice.
Well, again, you've made that choice already. So number one, don't look backwards and think, what should I have done? Because every time you look backwards, what should you have done? Number one, you don't know how it worked out. If you had kept your business and not looked after your father's business, you don't know what might have happened. So because of that, never look back and think, what if? You just can't know what would have happened if you'd gone through another path in life. So number two, this is where you are right now. You know, you're with your father's business, you've given up your job, it's not doing well. Get some help, get some advice. There's other people who can actually maybe help you, make sure you get that business going. Maybe it's just you're learning the ropes of it. It may not work now, but maybe later on it will do well. But certainly what I can advise is don't ever look back and say, what if?
I've been working my family business for the past 18 months, and it's been very frustrating for me as I can't seem to work well with my mother. See, even sons have problems with their own mothers. So. And we have endless arguments, and I'm really keen to continue helping out my family business. But how can I keep peace with my mother while retaining my sanity?
Okay, well, get a secretary and get the secretary to be your liaison with your mother, so you don't have to see her. And it's very difficult because if you're in a business, you know, the relationships you have in a business between your partners or between your managers and your staff is much different than the relationship you have to have with people in your family. So that's why sometimes family businesses can be difficult if you don't have proper separation of roles. So be very careful there. And remember, in your business, that's not your mother. That might be your boss or maybe your tea lady. I don't know what she does in the office. But it's not your mother when it's in business. Because then you can have a much clearer separation of roles. Does that make sense, businessman? Yes. I don't know why you ask me these questions, because I don't know business. Go on.
Today I made my choice to be in the business class on the 4th floor.
Very good.
My question is, my company has a new team of management and they seem to pick on me in everything I do. I'm angry and worried. Hope this is a problem that I have a solution to.
Alright, if they keep picking on you, it must mean that they're looking at training you for the next advancement. There must be some testing around, they've noticed you. I don't know why they're picking on you, but maybe just find out, maybe give them some compassion and kindness. Next time you see them, just smile at them. And they think, what does he know that I don't know?
Maybe it's time to move on.
Oh, time to move on, yeah.
This person here has asked for my email address. You can just send your CVs to Buddhist Fellowship and they will forward it to me. Dear Ajahn Brahm, I've been married for 5 years with 2 children. I love my wife and children dearly. 3 years ago, I resigned from my salary job, a low-paying salary job, to join my father's disco club. During these 3 years, I managed to buy a car and a house, but neglected my wife and children. Now she's left me and brought the 2 children with her. I've tried all ways to win her back, but to no avail. My wife wants me to totally stop working for my father, who is a triad leader and womanizer, as she feels that he is a bad influence. So if I choose to follow my wife's wish, I will have no means to pay my bank loans, and thus will become a bankrupt. I'm emotionally drained, as what should I do?
Okay, if you're going to choose the love for your family, of your financial security, and to me I'd always choose love for my family. And again, you can always change that job for a job with Angie Co. You've got lots of people coming up. You can always find another job. I think the economy is growing in Singapore. Is that the case?
Yeah, we have 70 vacancies in my company, so
there we
you can
go.
always come and talk to me.
And it's not a disco company, is it?
No. There are lots and lots of jobs out there. You just have to find the right one.
Choose your family. I'm sure you can get out of losing all your money and home and stuff.
My mother passed away 2 months ago. Her body was resting at home for only about an hour, and she was taken away by Singapore Casket, which is an undertaker. My friends told me that I should have left the body at home for at least 4 hours before sending it away. Up until today, I feel very regretful and upset on my wrong choice. I was told not to do any renovations for at least 100 days, as it will affect the soul of the deceased. Is that true?
No, absolutely wrong. I've got that on greatest authority of other ghosts and other beings. No, you don't need, no, an hour, half an hour, a few minutes is long enough to sort of dispose of the body. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. That is just superstition to say you have to leave it for 4 hours or more. Usually when the person dies at that very moment, usually the stream of consciousness leaves the body. If you really want to have evidence about that, look at the work of Pim van Lommel. Just get into Google and put in the words NDEs, NDEs, and you get all this information about people who can remember what happens when they die. As soon as the brain stops, brain death, at that point you leave the body. And so when a person is actually declared dead, they've already left the body, so you can actually give your organs, to medicine, so they can actually operate on you immediately to take out your heart or your corneas or anything else which they can make use of to help other people. As a Buddhist, you should not be afraid of that. In fact, you're making even better good karma by making your last act of kindness and generosity at your death, by being an organ donor. And you're saving lives and creating huge quality of lives for other people. So you can do that straight away. You don't have to wait for 4 hours before they can take your organs, because they can't be used by then. So don't be stupid. I'm an organ donor. So I've got my card in my bag. So now I'm not a hypocrite. I know what happens when I die, and please take all the organs you want from me. Don't need them anymore. So yes, you can go an hour, 5 minutes after you're dead, you can get operated on or whatever. So please don't be superstitious. And you can renovate your home. If the ghost comes, they'll be so pleased that the home doesn't look daddy anymore. So please do it.
Ajahn Brahm, I work as a social worker for the past 8 years. Of late, I feel tired and less patient towards the people whom I've helped, or whom I'm helping. How can I help myself so that I can better serve others?
Okay, very good question. In social work, you can get very easily burnt out. First example is when you're a social worker, Ajahn Chah said you should be like a dustbin, because you're taking all people's problems on you. So be a dustbin, so people unload all their rubbish on you. But you must be a dustbin with a hole in the bottom. So they unload their rubbish into you and it goes all the way out, so when you come to your next client you're totally empty. So that means you don't get full up. Obviously that social work is so full up with the problems and pain of other people, that's why they're getting negative. So you're carrying too much, you're keeping too much. So you need to do some, especially meditation, where you can actually learn how to let go more of just the last client's problems, so you can be free and empty to receive the next client's problems. So when you go home you can be free and happy, not to be a social worker when you go back home with your family.